This is a video demonstrating one out of 10 built-in accessibility features developed in an EU-funded research project called We4Authors Cluster. In this project, the accessibility expert company Funka has joined forces with market-leading authoring tools to investigate how authoring tools can best support web authors in creating accessible content by default. In this video, we present a solution to ensure that the language used for different content parts is accessible to people with disabilities. We will demonstrate the problem from the perspective of the end user, the challenge from the perspective of the web author, the solution recommended by the consortium behind the project, the result for the end user, and examples of code. The video is accompanied by a written technical specification to support implementation in any authoring tool. We hope the feature will inspire you to make the world more inclusive. Many of us need text-to-speech to handle the web. Some of us are blind, some are visually impaired, some are dyslexic, and some have other reasons for not reading visually on the screen. Whatever the reason, getting text read out loud is necessary for some, very important for many, and beneficial to almost all of us. For the screen reader to pick up the content and read it with the right pronunciation, the text needs to be coded in the right way. This is particularly important when the language changes within the text body. Screen readers can read text in different languages, but you need to provide the right attribute for the screen reader to select the right voice. This may sound trivial, but when the wrong voice is used, the content often becomes incomprehensible. In Europe, many public sector websites are required to provide content in different languages. The Change Language feature will help you make sure all users can understand content in the languages used. Now, let's see how this works in reality.
Hi, my name is Joachim, and like many users, I use a screen reader to get access to the screen content. In my case, it's because I'm blind, but that's just one reason to use text-to-speech technology. Now, I would like to show you what happens when I read a text, a web page, in multiple languages. And you can take a look at my screen so you can see what my screen reader does. Take a look at the top left of my screen. There you will find a small window showing you what's written on my braille display. And you can also take a look at the yellow square on my screen so you can see what my screen reader does. To show you how the possibility to automatically change language works, I'm going to show you a short and easy example of some French quotes. Here is the example of the web page. So, okay, let's check it out.
Heading Level 1 Inspirational Quotes in the French Language about life. The French have a unique perspective on life, with an appreciation for the beauty that seems to run into every aspect of their culture. Block quote on est point toujours un bet pour l'avoir et quelque voix. Denis Diderot.
Was this French? It sounds very strange to me.
Out of block quote being a fool sometimes does not make one a fool all the time.
Okay, the reason that it sounds strange is that the text was read out loud with an English pronunciation, and it's not very useful to me.
The page that Joachim tried to read is not correctly coded. There is a language attribute missing for the content that is in a different language from the main language of the page. The result is that the assistive technology does not read out the information with the correct pronunciation.
My name is Roberta Lulli, and I work for the European Disability Forum as a digital accessibility trainer. I work in a multilingual organization. We produce information in multiple languages. I thought I knew accessibility very well, but actually I have no idea that you could change the language of just one part of the website. That's awesome. Every authoring tool should have this feature.
This feature provides built-in support for choosing language for parts of the content. There's currently no standardized icon for changing language in a text editor. In this example, we have used an icon showing a letter, but often language-related options are shown with an icon of the earth, or even flags. Please note that flags are not recommended to use, as flags represent nations, not languages. Until there is a standard for this icon, the most important thing is that you provide the feature as such, so that the web author can change the language of parts of the text. Let's look at the solution. The web author selects the part of the text that is written in another language and connects it to the correct language code, preferably from a defined list. There's currently no standardized way of showing the web author what language sections of text are marked up with. Despite extensive user testing, this project has not been able to prove exactly how this should best be shown. It may also differ between authoring tools. The key is to make the language code used to mark up the text visually clear to the author. In this project, we have prototyped and tested a solution where the feature is displayed with the language code or with an icon. The result is that the assistive technology can interpret the content correctly and read it out to the user with the right pronunciation. Now, let's see how this is handled by assistive technology.
The French have a unique perspective on life, with an appreciation for the beauty that seems to run into every aspect of their culture. Block quote.
On n'est point toujours une bête pour l'avoir été quelquefois, Denis Diderot.
Oh, it sounds like French. And it's even more clear because it changed voices.
Out of block quote being a fool sometimes does not make one a fool all the time.
In this way, I can read in a lot of different languages.
When the content is created correctly, there is a general language attribute for the main content and a specific language attribute for the part that's in a different language. This means that when the content is read, the assistive technology will change the voice and pronunciation to fit the content. This way, the user of text-to-speech technology will be able to understand the content, provided the user knows the language, of course.
It's very important that the language changes are identified because it will help me and others that are using text-to-speech to pay attention to the language changes and understand the page content.